And Benny, we're going to start off by having a look at the two here. It is the favourite, Elvis, going to be very, very hard to beat. Trained by Simon Wild, Aaron Carew in the saddle, coming off a really impressive run at last start at the Bull.
It was a good effort. It was close to as good as he's gone over the obstacles last time out. Ran really well there at Warrnambool and actually drops 4 kilos for that effort and may take further improvement out of the first steeplechase run this season. I like this in the form guide when you're coming over the live hedges. This guy's got a win at Casterton. I think that's a big plus. So seems to tick most of the boxes. And I'm a bit like Rick this morning and Mike earlier. I was a bit surprised he wasn't shorter in the market.
Horse number 4, Hierarchical, trained by David Butch Londrigan, of course, a legend in the sport. Rossi O'Sullivan in the saddle. Nice run first up at the Bull.
Yeah, it was beaten a long way by Elvision at his first try over the fences, but might take plenty of improvement out of that run. And I'm going to be pretty forgiving of any horse that carnival that just, particularly towards the end of the day 2 and day 3, that maybe they just didn't handle the track. So it was quite shifty. So if he takes natural improvement out of it and prefers the surface today, he might be able to improve sharply.
Horse number 5, Coleridge, trained by Eric Musgrove, Richie O'Donoghue. They're looking for a double.
It was beaten a long way in the Galleywood, but that was a high-class Galleywood over the hurdles. Now we go to a lesser grade of race over the live hedges here. So it's apples and oranges, completely different things. So I wouldn't read too much into the Galleywood there. I thought he's forming a couple. What I may read a bit more into is I thought he's forming a couple of starts over the fences. Previously doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence, and we're being asked to take 440. I can't quite work out why he's as short as he is in the market. So Shane Jackson might be able to later on give us a little bit of insight as to why the market's got that horse so short.
Horse number 6, Laylight. Now Stevie Pateman's got 4 runners in the race. Nathan Newton in the saddle here has got a placing at this track from 2 starts.
How forward he is, but if he's forward enough, I think he can run a race at a price.
Another one that races well at the track here is the 7 Mapping from the Pateman yard as well. Megan Dunseith in the saddle. 5 starts at the track for 3 placings.
Yeah, exactly. So first up off 3 trials, second to Historic at this track and distance last season. That was the race where Laylight was 3rd. Did win here 2 seasons ago too, so really likes the course here at Casterton. Not surprised being $14 into $12 on the official prices. I think a pretty thin race for depth. I think he can run a race at a price as well.
Well, let's go back and have a look at the 1 now. Historic from the Stevie Pateman yard as well. Ronan Short looking for a race-to-race double. Been well supported. And another one that likes this track here at Casterton.
Yeah, big plus, isn't it? So just found them too sharp over the smaller obstacles last time out. I'd be very forgiving of that run. I just think over the hurdles he finds them a bit too sharp. Historic needs the bigger fences, and particularly Casterton. This track seems to bring out the best of him. It's a big plus getting back to Casterton over the hedges. He's a Casterton winner. He looks a key chance. I think he's the main danger to the favourite, but he's going to have to concede the favourite weight, and the favourite on recent form potentially looks to be the better horse, so he's got a bit against him there.
The final runner from the Pateman yard is the 8 Power of Words. Salam Agbal's in the saddle. Any push here at all, Benny, at a bit of a price?
Well, he was close up behind Historic over the fences last season, so if you could find that form, you could make a little case. Refused to jump out of the gates first up on the flat. If he does that again but eventually gets away, then maybe it's not going to cost him as much today over the fences. But outsider in the race, I think deservedly to be a bit of a price.
Are you with the favourite here, Benny, Elverson?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, so it's pretty easy to make a case for him, isn't it? He was terrific at the Bull last time out, and finds a suitable race here. He's got good Casterton form. Historic, another one with the form over the hedges here, and then I've thrown in Laylight and Mapping, who I thought could both run a race at a price if they're forward enough, because they've got the form here at Casterton over the fences.
It's going to be a cracking race, that is for sure. Shane Jackson, you've had a look at the horses as they parade in the mounting yard. What are you with, Jacko?
I'll have to go with Benny here. Elvison is a standout to me. I think even money is better than bank interest. He knows the track, won around the track. He has a weight advantage off Historic. I think he'd beat him on level weights. So I think barring something good.
All thanks to Bet365.
But Simon Wild, who prepares the favourite here in Elvision, who was really good at the Bull last time out. Simon, how's he come through it?
Come through it really well. Couldn't be happy with him, actually. He's bounced through that run. that run might have just cleaned him up nicely for this. He went into Warrnambool off, I think, one flat run and one trial. So I was really pleased with his effort there. I thought he was terrific. We've done a lot of base work with him, but I think they always improve off a run, and he's a rotund little horse, so I think he's tightened up a little bit, and he's been around this course before. I think he's had 3 or 4 starts. He's won here, which is always a help, and I think he'll run well.
I was going to ask you about that. How important is it for these horses that have been to Casterton before, that have had a look at it? Is it something you think about when you're looking who to bring back here?
Yeah, look, if he hadn't have raced here, he would have had to have come and had a look or trialled. The fact that he'd had a few starts, we thought that he'll know his way around. But look, he drops in weight as well, and tactics will be interesting. We'll push forward early and see what happens, and Aaron will just have to be on his mettle there. If there's horses that are going to pester him, he might have to take a sit, otherwise he'll hopefully lead. So we should have scratched him. He ran him from bad gates twice, and we only have ourselves to blame there. He's drawn well today. He's a very laid-back horse, so blinkers could really help him. If he does jump well, he's going to get a good run, and I think he's a really good place chance actually.
That was going to be my question. If he jumps well, could he put himself just in behind the leaders or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. We'll be pushing forward on him with the shades on, and hopefully, if there's no speed, he can lead for sure.
Got a few runners at Bendigo. I won't go through each of them with you, but Just the Rebel's a short price favourite in the 4th off a terrific effort at the Bull during the Carnival. How's she come through the run?
She's come through it well, yeah. Heavy 8 today would be my only concern. It looks a drop in rate.
The horse you think's the best hope of those?
I can't split really Just a Rebel and Elvis. I think just the
in the race, and the rules, if you've got more than one runner in the race, you can't have a ride. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's it. And also, if he had a runner in the race and he wanted to ride something else, that's not allowed either. And I think it's for betting reasons, and the stewards have made that rule just to make sure no one's playing funny buggers. But I thought if he has 4 of his own in a race, he's surely going to ride the best one. I don't really see a reason. I can understand why he shouldn't be jumping on and off, but that's the rules, and we play by them, and he's happy enough playing trainer, I think.
The only thing, having listened to Rick, having listened to Shane Jackson, having listened to Simon Wilde, that surprised me about hearing all these jumps experts and talk about Elvis, was his price was holding up. He was $270 yesterday, $250 this morning. When I was in the mounting yard before, he was $235, $230, and I'm thinking everyone's saying what a chance he is. And finally the market's caught up. He's been $2.35 into $1.85 late in betting, so the market's responded now to all the good pushes from a lot of people, and he's been heavily supported here. That was a great push from Simon Wilde.
Yeah, and as he should be, that price. I think he's a standout here. It's Steve Pateman obviously has 4, and he's a very well schooled. They'll be running the places, but Elvison, I reckon, has lengths on these.
And now touching, got into $1.70 there on Bet365 markets. So what are we looking at in the VIP? $1.80. Benny Ascari, so you're right. I just think there hasn't been much support for anything else, has there now? They're all just on the drift.
No, so $2.35 into $1.80 for Elvis, and he was $2.70 at one stage this morning. Historic's gone $4.20 to $7.50. Oracle's gone $8 to $12. Coleridge $4.40 to $5.50. So a slight drift, but not out the gate. And then they have spec the Pateman pair with the Casterton form.
Yep.
Laylight 12 into 9, Mapping 14 into 9. Both of them have run well here previously.
And as you say, Casterton form means a lot. I couldn't have Coleridge because I don't think he's been around here before. He'll find the jumps a bit new, might jump him a bit big. I think having experience around this track is a huge asset.
Well, let's head upstairs to Rick McIntosh for his call. It is going to be an absolute cracking race, this one. They go through the paddocks, of course. They're over the live hedges. We went out there earlier, Jacko, and had a look at them. I couldn't believe how big they were and how wide they are too. It is going to be a fantastic spectacle. Let's head upstairs now to Rick McIntosh for his call of race number 4.
Good on you, Stewie, looking forward to this. Elverson has been smashed. He's into 175 now. 6 Coleridge, 8 Historic. There's been a little bit of money for Mapping, who normally goes well around the course. 14 into 9, and Laylight as well. 12 into 9.50. It's a bit like the old Bryce Stanaway days here with the 4 sets of colours and all the different caps. If you didn't catch them in the yard, it's the red cap Historic, the teal cap Laylight. Mapping's got the white cap with the red dots, and Power of Words has got a black cap with a teal pom-pom, and if I stuff them up, somebody could tap me on the shoulder in the middle of the race. That'd be good. 175 Elverson, he was my best of the day. And as Steve Pateman said in his interview earlier, I mean, who would have thought all those years ago when I first started coming to Casterton and saw the battles of Joey Smith's Lazar. I saw him here today with a grandkid, Joey, on the babysitting duties. He had the great Lazar, took on the Mount Gambier chaser in Noah Yarn. Running around for $15,000 over these wonderful live hedges. Who would have thought there'd be a 100k chase called the Two Rivers? Well, there is. Pullen and Co. and Bonnie Energy behind it, along with Two Rivers. And they're moving in well. Elverson, off his wonderful effort in the Decron Dunrow, is the odds-on favourite. 1.75. Light blinks on top of the gates. They've got 20 to jump. It's 10 a lap. Treble right in front of us here. The hill's full. What a sight it is to watch them jumping them in the open country when they go up the back from the top of the hill. Laylight's gone up to the outside gate. Ready for the Two Rivers. Big kudos to the club and the AJRA for getting this happening, and they're off and running. Elverson, the race favourite, jumped first. Historic's away nicely, and they come to the first of 20. Up, over. What a great sight it is. Now to the second of the double. And Elverson is marginally in front of Historic on his inside. Moving across to be up running third is Power of Words, and Coleridge is fourth. There's the third of the treble. They're followed next in the run then as they leave us by Hierarchal. Now he's underneath of Mapping. That's him with the white cap, red pom-poms, and on his outside, just easing back as Laylight in the teal cap to be at the rear. So the jumps cross-country course takes them away from us here. So they'll go across the course proper and jump number 4. Elverson narrowly in front of Historic, who's keeping him company, and they're 3 lengths in front for Coleridge and Power of Words, and Mapping's in the middle. 3 further back. They've got one that's lost the rider. 2. We'll sort that out in a minute, but Elverson it is that takes them across the 1,400 metre chute and through the gap to the open country. It's Elverson out by 2 lengths. Now, up and over the first of those wonderful live hedges out there. Historic is second in company with Power of Words, and then followed next in the race then by Mapping. Coleridge is behind those, and then a break 2, Historic, and it's Hierarchal, who's barely made a mistake in his life, which has parted company with his jockey. So over jump number 6, it's the second in the open country. You know where I'm talking about. Where the Wannon meets the Glenelg in the Two Rivers on the first round. It's Elverson. Up and over the next one. He's a length and a half to the good of Power of Words in the black cap, and Historic in the red cap, and Mapping's in the white cap running fourth. All the same colours. Fifth in the race then would have been Coleridge, and the one in the teal cap rider just putting his iron back in on Laylight as they jump the next and run back onto the course proper, heading for the next jump. It's the race favourite Elverson. He's everybody's friend today. Leads the stablemates. And Mapping's parted. Megan Dunseith has parted company with Mapping there over that jump. So Power of Words and Historic are left second. Coleridge is fourth, and a long break to the only other competitor left in it, and that's Laylight. Up and over the next. Now that's jump number 10. It brings them back to where they started from a lap ago in the Two Rivers, and hopefully Mapping is going to... Look at him, he doesn't need a rider. He's getting up and over them like a champion. Go and do your own thing, Mapping. Elverson, let's get back to the race. Up and over the second of the double on the second round. Leads out by 2 or 3 lengths. Second is Historic, and third is Power of Words. Coleridge is fourth, and a long break to the other one left in the race, which is Laylight. So they run away from us again. Still 7 to jump in this last lap of the Two Rivers, and the front runner is Elverson. He hasn't had any real challenges. He leads here. Mapping's looking for another jump. Now he's on the course proper. It's Elverson up and over the 14th in front. About to head over the 1400 metre chute once again, leading from Historic. Coleridge has got up to third, then followed by Power of Words, and Laylight is still last of those remaining and a good distance off. So they head to the open country once again. Elverson, he's travelling boldly in the lead, and he's loving his work in the Two Rivers. He's a length and a half in front of Historic and Power of Words and Coleridge together in a break to Laylight. They're up and over the first in the open country. In the river flats there, it's Elverson. He's coming towards the second of these magnificent live hedges out there, leading by 2 lengths on Historic. Coleridge is third, and up and over the 5 of them go. Yep, here the river flats, where the one meets the Glenelg in the Two Rivers on the second lap, and Elverson is the leader. Historic is giving him something to think about. He's in close attendance. They're 2.5 lengths to Coleridge, 4 to Power of Words, starting to feel the pinch, and then Laylight making a little mess of that one there was Historic, and Elverson was left 3 lengths in front as he comes back onto the course proper now with 2 left to jump. Elverson broke clear, 4 or 5 lengths on Historic. Coleridge up to third. He put in a good leap, Elverson. It's a bit tricky here. He's got to take a hard right-hander to jump the last, and the gap always takes a bit of navigating, but he's won there before. He's doing it brilliantly in the lead. Elverson comes to it. Up and over he goes for Kuru, who gets them to jump like nobody else on his day. He's about to come through the gap, 4 in front of Historic. Then came Laylight, who runs to 4th. Through the Lazar gap it goes. Way goes Elverson, and the best bet in jumps racing in your life wins the Two Rivers hands down. Elverson won by 30 lengths. Second, Historic was Gallen in the chase. Third placing was Coleridge. 4th in went to Laylight. 5th in went to Power of Words. Look at mapping. He's still looking for another jump, that fellow. He'll come back here and win one before the season's out. And that's if the pony picks him up today. And a wonderful win by Elverson. He was in another league. How good is Simon Wild? He wouldn't have run him here today unless he'd come through that run. You just knew it. He's so conservative with his jumpers. And he'd had that only the 2 runs back from a year break, the 1 run at a mile on the flat, and the second in the Decron Dunro. You reckon it would have taken a heap out of him on that heavy track. Both horses and jockeys are okay, my producer's telling me, so I'm quoting him. 2 Elverson winning at Aaron Kuru for Simon Wild, and the owners D Trentham, C Trentham, N Partridge, B Low, R Lyons. He's in everything. Still celebrating after the Grand Annual success. T McKinnon, M Scown, and Simon Wild in the ownership himself. He's come on this horse all right. And a great training effort by Simon and his team to decide that he is in fine fettle to go again. Historic was great. He just made a mess of the second last, and after that, the lactic acid started to kick in. Five and 6, 4:33.78 was the time, 4:33.78. Now we heard Mike Simons virtually declare it, we heard Jacko virtually declare it, we heard Rick declare it, we heard Ben like it, but when Simon Wild comes on, he's a very conservative man. When he comes on and says you're in the right tram, Stewie, you knew that anything in the black and white was going to end well.
Yeah, he's a great judge, that is for sure. And I said to you before this race, you love coming up here to these meetings, and to win a race like this, Simon, it's just next level, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's it's a wonderful spectacle, and we've got a big buzz out of that. It was, we sort of thought this was a race that would really suit him, and we tailored his prep around it, and he was foot perfect there. It was a great display from horse and rider. I thought it was fantastic.
He was enormous at Warrnambool. Did you have any reservations at all, Simon, coming here today on the quick backup?
Nah, not at all. I thought he was a moral, to be honest, but like being a jumps race, you can never really sort of say that. Vanguard slipping in the annuals, just an example. But I thought he was close enough to a moral. He was really well. He pulled up so well from Warrnambool. We didn't have to travel, so we expected him to pull up well. And having had that experience around the course, you could see he sort of knew where he was going, and it was well rated and terrific.
Now I'm going to ask you, would you prefer to win a flat race or a jumps race? Be honest.
No, I'd prefer to win a jumps race. I'd be brutally honest with you. I think Yeah, there's nothing like it, and people that experience it, owners that experience it, they'll tell you the same, up until you got to sit there and ride every jump with the horse and, all the work and time that goes into it, it's something different, you get a real buzz out of it.
And you talk about, ownership and stuff like that. Well, Rod Lyons, he's got horses on every scale, if you know what I mean, and he loves the jumps racing, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, you love having him in the horses. He's the luckiest man alive. He's got some great horses, and David Trevethan, who supports us a lot. I've got to thank him for getting this horse, and it's good. Like people like that it's not just the top end and top echelon. You come here to a country meeting like this, and you can have a fantastic day.